We play and call it work.
Hey everybody, Matthew and Lee here from MiniWarGaming.com. Welcome to the Fungeon and the first of an epic series of videos of the making of an epic 40k terrain board. I'm not sure if that's going to be the title of the series. Maybe it'd be something more exciting than that, but whatever. Title pending, patent pending. And what we're going to do in this series, we did the behind the scenes of the making of the epic Age of Sigmar board. That is like child's play compared to what's about to come to pass before your very eyes. Because Games Workshop has sent us a ton of terrain to make an awesome 40k table. And I'm not talking about like tables. I'm talking about one awesome, super great table. And Lee is going to guide us through the process of what... This first video, we don't really have hardly any progress. We just got the terrain like the other day and made our box fort out of it and had some fun with it.
That was yesterday.
That was yesterday. For all those of you watching this, it had been a few days ago. But Lee's going to show you the design, what we had kind of planned out and what he's decided to do. And we're going to talk about how he's going to do it. And then throughout this series, we're going to show you progress updates, but also like little mini tutorials throughout the whole thing. We can't do full-fledged tutorials with Lee. He's too busy a guy. He's just really busy all the time. And so, but we can still show you little bits of how to use the various Games Workshop terrain. This will be made pretty much 99% with Games Workshop scenery. So if you want to replicate any parts of this, you can do it with the Games Workshop kits. Obviously, you're still going to be using some custom things. I'm guessing some plastic card and foam and all that to kind of build the actual table itself. But the kits, we're going to show you which kits we're using, which is basically all of them. So
pretty much,
just go on Games Workshop site, go to Warhammer 40k, go under scenery, and yes, we use that. Probably everything. So let's start by taking a look at the design that you've sketched up.
Yep.
So Lee, why don't you start off by telling us what the table theme is? Like, what is it that we're trying to create?
Talking about doing a landing spaceport.
So a void port of sorts. So there'd be a place where all the different shuttles would come down, or larger Thunderhawks would probably be able to fit in certain spaces. And that's it.
Yeah.
It's a gothic void port.
And it's loosely based on Minas Tirith.
Right.
Because we both like Lord of the Rings a lot.
So why don't you tell us what we got here in this picture?
So first off, we got a wall that I actually have on the table right now.
Boop. We'll look at it in a second.
And that's going to be the front wall. Then the second wall is going to be on a higher tier. Then we have towers strewn about and walkways. And these are actually Sky Shield landing pads.
That's the size of a Sky Shield landing pad, pretty much?
Yeah.
Roughly. Man, one thing I noticed when I went to Warhammer World and looked in all their 40k stuff, it's Sky Shield landing pads everywhere.
Yeah.
Like Bastions, of course, make great walls, but the kits of the Sky Shield landing pads have so many parts that are useful for so many things.
And this is going to be a railroad track going into the gate.
Which will be underneath everything that we see up here.
There's going to be a ceiling on top here, so it goes inside.
And this will be like your command towers kind of thing?
Yeah.
Just jutting up nice and high?
Yeah. There's going to be... what, 4 feet high?
Nice.
So it's going to be pretty big.
Anything else on here? Oh yeah, what's this thing right here?
That's the crane. I'm going to build a crane.
This is going to be after the fashion of the one that Games Workshop actually has that they've used in one of their...
30k and have the rule book. It's on the last page of the book.
There you go. Look that one up. And then they've actually recently taken that piece and made a Necromunda table. Because the one when we were there, when Dave and I were there, and we played Necromunda live on their channel, it actually had that crane in the middle of the board. And I had an epic duel at the top of the crane with two of the guys. My guy died, but spoiler alert, you're going to go back and watch that. But it was pretty awesome. So you're going to have this enormous crane.
Yeah, and this is going to be a hole in the ground.
Which is the idea of what?
So the train comes up, the crane takes... This isn't like to scale. So the train comes up, crane goes over, takes whatever it would be, and then swings around and puts it in here.
Are your plans for the train to make it actually movable? Like, so they're separate pieces, or are you going to make it like a permanent piece where the train's right here and it has a bunch of crates on the back?
It's going to be movable.
Yeah. Now, the idea behind this is that when this is done, we'll have an epic table to play a few games on. But I'm not a big fan of static terrain because, let's face it, as cool as it can be, after playing half a dozen games on it, you're going to get bored of it. Well, maybe not you, but I will. And so the other purpose of this is that the challenge that Lee has is to make as much of this as modular as possible.
Yep.
Meaning that like the command tower will come off and be a separate terrain piece.
Yeah,
the crane
walls will be separate pieces.
Right. Now, some of the things are just not going to be able to do that without compromising how cool the board could be. But we end up basically, once this is done, with a lot of new 40K terrain, Manufactorum, Voidport terrain that we can then use in our other battle reports. Because otherwise, for us, at our scale, it doesn't make sense to make these epic boards just to play a few games on them. I know Games Workshop does that all the time, but they're a different scale than we are. So it does make sense. So let's take this and look at this. So this is the actual table that you're going to be building it on.
Yeah.
And so we can start to see what kits you're using. So what do we have here on the table already?
Well, I'm just sketching out where everything goes. So this is the outer wall. And it's going to be taller, though. It's going to be a full bastion.
Like 2 of these high, basically?
Yeah, it's going to be like this. This is how high it's going to be.
Awesome. That's going to fall.
Yeah, it's going to fall. And then there's going to be another wall behind it.
So basically, when you get up to the top level, it's going to be roughly this high.
Yeah.
And then you're going to have the command tower.
Yeah, and another tower over here.
And another tower over here. So if we look back over here, once again, this is the outside of this wall. This command tower will basically be up here. And then this big landing area, or whatever that enormous tower will be like right here.
Yep.
And it'll come out to another tower this tall.
Yeah.
That'll also be modular. So that we can remove it, maybe turn it to 2 pieces, or maybe just one big piece. And then you've got the start of your crane, or at least the shape.
Yeah, the shape of it. They're just trying to figure out. I'm also going through the kits, because once you do an idea on the computer, then you get the pieces in, the idea changes.
Definitely.
So this changed from, what was it, 2 bastions? Yeah, it's probably going to be, because I want this to be about that high.
Yeah, you need to have it high enough so that when the crane comes out, it actually looks like it could pick up whatever's there and drop it in whatever part of the table.
But the crane's going to be pretty high too. So.
Now you mentioned that there's going to be a hole in the table over here. Are you going to have a real hole, or is it just going to be black? Like, are you going to build up the table so you can have a hole?
Well, I'm planning on putting down a layer of foam.
So you are building up the table.
Yeah. So this might actually get higher because I might put it on a hill.
So you're going to have different levels.
Yeah.
On the 6x4, so it won't just be one big flat table with all these scenery, which would look cool, but it'll actually have some built-in.
Yeah, this table's only going to be used for this.
Yeah, the table doesn't have to be modular. The terrain, a lot of the terrain needs to be. So this is obviously, the Bastion kit is probably your main foundation for a lot of things that you would build.
Oh, yeah.
It works kind of like if you're playing with Lego, picture it as like the big Lego pieces. It's what you would use to build your superstructure. Let's take a look at some of the other terrain that you're going to use, and let's talk about what you're going to use it for. First off, I just want to give you an idea of scale of how much terrain we got. We've got, this box was full of terrain, this box is full of terrain, this box is full of terrain. That's Age of Sigmar stuff. This box is full of terrain, that box is full of terrain, and we got the Sector Imperialis stuff, which we'll show you in a second. And he's already opened that many boxes of Bastions, just to show you how useful those kits are.
Big pile on my desk over there.
Lots of sprues. So here's a smattering of the terrain that we're going to be using. So let's talk about, and yes, there are 2 Baneblades, and yes, we are turning those into the train. Or you are. I keep saying we. I guess more like the we, like I own the company, so I can say, yeah, we did this.
It's all you.
And then I'm going to walk away and do my battle report.
Yeah.
But no, it's Lee. Lee's the mastermind behind all this. I just provide the location and the stuff, I guess. And Games Workshop provide a lot of stuff, actually. So with the Baneblades, you're going to turn into the train. Do you have an idea of how you're going to do that yet?
Kind of depending on how much space I have, because my idea is I want it to cover both tracks.
Right, so it's basically the width of the Baneblade is the width of the tracks then.
Yeah, so it's 2 tracks, right? And I want it to be able to move in and out.
Because it's going to be literally right here.
Yeah.
And maybe like in a little bit. Like you don't have to detail everything inside of there.
No, I can actually make a cavern inside so you can actually push it in if you want.
Right.
Because there's going to be a lot of foam core used.
To support the structure?
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. And so, are you
I'm
going to be widening the Baneblade, or are you going to just leave it the width that it is right now?
not sure yet. Depends on...
Still in the works.
Yeah.
But obviously it won't look like a Baneblade in the end, because we got this nice track system, we've got a good chassis to work with, and so I like to take all these weapons off, because maybe the train could have a bit of armament on it.
Yeah.
It would make sense, but it won't be having big Baneblade cannons on it.
No.
Which, do you have any plans for the actual cannons? Are they going to be incorporated into maybe some of the defenses of the Voidport? That would be pretty cool.
Yeah.
To have these enormous cannons as part of it. We'll have to see, right? Because the Bastion kits come with last cannons and quad guns. And did we get, one thing I don't have right here, did we get the Fortress of Redemptions? Was that on the list?
I'm not sure.
Because those have like the big cannons. So we do have a lot of those downstairs or upstairs, so maybe we'll bring some of those into this. Who knows?
Yeah.
Who knows? So we got 2 of these, so you have all the parts you need to make a train. We've got a lot of the Sector Mechanicus terrain. This is all pretty much that, except, you know, even these. So how do you envision using these various kits?
Well, these are mostly for the walkways and the supports. Because we have a bunch of this. I'm going to be adding these to the buildings on the outside. But, yeah, it's mostly the walkways. Because I need walkways between the towers.
Right. You can have any walkways on the outside of the walls?
No, that's going to be these.
The plasma conduits?
Yeah. They're going to be, this is going to be covered in plasma conduits.
Just everywhere.
Yeah. So I might actually, I don't know, I think we got, what, 10 of them?
Is that enough?
I don't know.
Well, it'll probably be enough for whatever. You just kind of stop once you run out of them, right?
Yeah.
So the question I would have then, and this is on the spot, how do you plan on making it so this part of the wall is playable? Because we actually want it to be playable in a game and not just have models so high up that nothing can get up there. Do you have a plan so that the first step, when it goes up, will I be able to have models on it? Is that the idea?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure if I'm going to put too much. Like, you're talking about having walkways on the outside, right?
Not necessarily on the outside. Like if your wall's going to go up, and then I was assuming it was going to go in a bit and then go up again. Yeah. And so that in right there, is that going to be a walkway?
Be about that wide.
And is that, so that's going to be playable then?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so that's the only concern I had. And that's only about 6 inches off the ground.
Yeah, because I have to think about playability.
Exactly. Not just how it looks, but playability. Because otherwise half the table is not as fun to play on. No. Now, mind you, we can build the scenario specifically to the table. Rules come after the coolness, right? So a lot of the walkways will be used for the higher up stuff. We got the plasma conduits.
I just doubled up on tubes, so because they're in half.
Oh, they're in half. Okay, so it's twice as many as you thought.
Good.
And then we got reactors to go places. Obviously, those can kind of just riddle things. You could make weapons out of these.
Yep.
Like enormous plasma cannons. It would be cool to have 1 or 2 giant weapons that look like they're meant to be capital ship stuff. Just
like air defense lasers?
Yeah, but more than just ones that take down anti-flyers, but more like this one could actually be used to hurl something into orbit.
Yeah.
But we'll see. Like that's just wish list
galore. That could just
galore.
be a separate piece we just place on top.
Exactly. And then it could be used elsewhere. What is this kit?
This is the Sky Shield landing pad.
Now this is where I see a lot of the use at Games Workshop, is that these feet they use in all sorts of stuff, not even when they don't use the rest of it.
Yeah.
But
it's a big boy.
Yeah.
It's pretty big.
That's half of it.
Yeah.
So it goes all the way out. Then you have the option to add on the outsides to it.
Yep.
You got the legs. So on its own, it just stands this high. But combined with other kits.
Be like sticking out of the towers.
So right here, we're seeing like the various Sky Shield landing pads with the purpose of actually a shuttle would land on those.
Yep.
Is this basically a bigger landing pad? Is that what you're thinking for that?
I'm thinking putting maybe some industrial, like, buildings on it.
Right.
Using some of the Mechanicus stuff.
I guess my question is there anywhere for a Thunderhawk to land? Or is it all going to be smaller than a Thunderhawk?
We'll see.
We'll see.
I'm not sure.
All right, add that to the wish list.
You want a Thunderhawk to be able to land on it?
1 place for a Thunderhawk. Okay. 1 anti-capital ship weapon.
Right.
Well, right, yeah, it could have landed just outside. But I mean, it'd be cool if this was actually like for the Thunderhawk.
Yeah.
But once again, there's the list of things I'd love to see, and then there's what turns out based on what looks really cool. So this is how fluid this project is. It's like we have our plan, and then we change it as we go along.
Yep.
And over here we've got the Shrine of the Aquila, or Aquila, however you want to say that. And what are you going to be using that for?
This is for the gate.
Oh, do tell. Explain.
So these boxes here, each one of these is going to be a shrine. And what I'm going to do, because I got a few Honored Imperium kits in.
Yes. That's the big statue of the Space Marine.
Yeah. What I'm going to do, I'm going to cut this out and put the Space Marine inside.
Nice. Looking out.
Yeah. And that's going to be on either side.
Oh, that's so cool. And then what are you going to do for the gate itself? Are you going to have a gate, or is it just going to be a hole?
That's going to be the Sector Imperialis.
Oh, geez, you're actually going to cut it up to make a gate.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll pull that out in a second. Holy cow. So that's the basic structure. And
That's only the stuff I have planned.
yeah, that's what you have planned. And we haven't even shown you all the different terrain. So let's pull out the Sector Imperialis to show off exactly what that looks like and talk about what you're planning on using that for. And last off, we got this. Now, they didn't actually send us this. We've had this for a while, but we wanted to incorporate it. This is their Sector Imperialis terrain, which is basically a battle board. It comes in 2x2 sections. Why don't you crack it open and show us exactly what it looks like inside. By itself, it's basically a 3D version of a gaming mat. But because it's 3D, it has a few advantages over the game mats. One is that on camera, you actually get the 3D effect, and in person too. And two, as we're going to find out with what Lee is going to be doing, you could cut it up and use it for stuff. Which seems heretical, but I'm sure a lot of things we're doing here seems a little over the top. So let's show this off.
Okay, here we have the Aquila. It's pretty big.
That's enormous. So you saw that and you're like, I want to cut that out?
Yeah, pretty much.
And what about the gate? Which parts are you looking at that you want to use for the
That's
gate?
gonna be the gate.
Oh, I see. And so then you're just going to cut that in half. That'll be 2 doors?
Yeah.
Oh,
Or
jeez.
not.
And then you have access to, like, you can cut these parts out and make roadways.
Yeah.
You got more pipes.
We got more detail bits all
That's
over the
right.
place.
Which can be used on the ground or...
And there's actually, let's see.
It looks like that's the same as the one that you just opened. We have this piece, which is a T-junction.
These pieces.
What are your plans for them?
Walls.
Yeah, they actually look like a wall. When you hold it up, it looks more like a wall than a ground.
Yeah.
You just cut that out. Almost wish you could just duplicate that, eh?
Well, I have 2 of them, so there's 2 per.
All right. Well, there's a
Or there might
duplicated
be
then.
3, actually. But yeah. And I might actually just build, instead of using bastions, just use this as walls.
For certain areas.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would look really cool. It kind of gives it a variety as well. It gives you more options for how you build it. There's this nice thing about the 40K over the Age of Sigmar. The Age of Sigmar was cool, but you're limited in your kits.
Yeah.
And they don't have any super big kits yet to allow you to build superstructures. Everything is ruins or a completed, like the War Squire Citadel, where it's just an enclosed building.
Yeah.
Whereas the 40K line's been around a lot longer. And so a lot of their kits are interchangeable. And some of them don't work as well interchangeable, but you're going to be doing a lot of custom designs anyway, so you have to work around that. So the 40K gives a lot more options for what you can do with all the stuff that they have.
3.
Yeah, 3. Okay, good. And that's not even including all the Forge World stuff, which we don't have, but that's okay. I think this is enough to work with right here.
Yeah.
So how long do you think this project will take? This is not a promise, so...
It's not a promise or a threat.
Or a threat! What deadline would you give yourself that you'd say, I would quit my job if I don't get it done by this time?
A year. No.
Oh, geez. Okay. Well,
No. 3 months?
3 months full time?
Yeah.
And obviously, we're going to be pulling you aside to do other projects as you're
Some
needed
days
to.
I'm just not motivated. And that does happen.
It does happen. Yeah, making terrain for a living and converting models sounds like a dream job. But,
It is.
But sometimes,
Yeah.
who cares? If you're in a bad mood, you're in a bad mood, right?
Yeah.
There's days I come in, I'm like, I don't feel like playing a battle report today. But you got to do it. But it's not going to be as good as when I come in wanting to play a battle report, that's for sure. I know it sounds like we're whining about something awesome, and it's true. Like, no matter what, if you, it can be the best thing in the world. If you have it every day, you can get used to it. And in this case, it's just the ebb
it's
and
like
flow.
being a bed tester.
Yeah, a bed tester.
Yeah, that's a job.
Is it?
Yeah.
I guess you can only
There's people that get paid to sleep.
but you can only sleep for so long,
I know.
and some of those beds are going to suck.
I know.
That's why you're testing them.
Yeah.
Jeez, yeah, that doesn't sound like a dream job at all. Actually, I can sleep without having to work for it. So that is the project. There's not much more to talk about right now. And we're just going to give you updates as we go. And I'm hoping to do weekly updates with this. It depends on the week. There might be some weeks where you get more done, or at least less repetitive things done. And so there'll be more to show. So we might end up having to do a couple episodes in a week. And there might be certain weeks where it's like, I
did walls.
I made more walls, and we've already talked about how to make these walls. It's just more. So we'll try to post pictures on our Instagram and Facebook as often as possible. Maybe a few times a week if we can keep up with it. So if you're not following us on Facebook or Instagram, go and do so now. Facebook.com/MiniWarGaming, Instagram.com/MiniWarGaming, and we'll post. It'll be more updates on those than you'll get by video. And also you can look forward to a couple articles in the Warhammer community website that will be more detailed as to some tutorials as well. So that'll be fun. That will work together. Lee and I will work together to write those and take good pictures for them and chronicle everything. So we're going to try to chronicle this as detailed as possible to give you a taste of the journey, allow you to come along and experience it with us as Lee builds
How very deep?
an epic 40K table. All right. Thanks, Lee. Goodbye, Fungin. Happy wargaming.
Later.